Has the Steam Deck just stolen one of the PlayStation Portal's best features? And also, are your PlayStation Portal games disappearing from your library? Got lots to talk about today. Let's jump right in. As ever, I was reading the gaming news this morning with my coffee, chilling out, and I saw this. You can now play PS5 games on your Steam Deck, Steam Machine, and Lenovo Legion Go S. Here's how. I thought you can already play the PlayStation games which are on Steam. You know, you can buy like God of War and Spider-Man, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about one of the Portal's, I guess, unique selling points in that it is the only place, or the only device, or it was the only device you could buy to play games from the cloud that are PlayStation games. So PlayStation Plus cloud streaming catalog, and your purchased games, streaming them from the cloud. There's many devices which you can do remote play to your PlayStation 5 console. You know, you can use mobile phones, tablets, Steam Decks, you name it. But this is the cloud game streaming part of it. So what do we have here? This is over on T3, and it says the Steam Deck has proved extremely versatile. Let's just zoom in. The Steam Deck has proved extremely versatile since it arrived more than 4 years ago. You can play PC games on it via Steam, of course, and retro games through emulation, and titles from other PC storefronts thanks to third-party software. Very different from the all-digital future Sony is pushing us towards, where it's only their store you'll be able to buy from with the high prices, whereas the PC marketplace is an open marketplace where you can pick and choose where you want to buy your stuff from. And then they go on to say here, and there's cloud streaming with native apps like GeForce Now, and workarounds to get Xbox Cloud Gaming working on Steam OS. It is a true all-rounder, only if there was a way to play PS5 games on it too. Well, actually there is, thanks to a third-party developer. You can now play PlayStation 5 games on your Steam Deck through the cloud, and not just via remote play. Asobi, I saw that right away and I thought Team Asobi, who make Astrobot, but it's nothing to do with them. Asobi Remote Play is currently available on the Steam store for public testing, and it not only allows you to stream games from your PS5, like remote play applications, it gives you access to an ever-growing cloud library too. We'll talk about if this will be allowed to continue in just a moment, because I was thinking surely Sony will block this, but we'll see what happens. That works in similar fashion to the PS Portal, Sony's own streaming handheld. So it says, how do you go about doing this? Well, you're not cutting out Sony with the PlayStation Plus premium subscription, unfortunately. You do still need that to use Asobi on any Steam OS devices here. So it says you need to be a PS Plus premium member, but if so, you can access over 3,000 games to stream wherever you have a decent Wi-Fi connection. This is generally exclusive to Sony's device. It's not even available through the official Remote Play app from Sony, but developer Inside Internet makes it work here too. I assume that's what the developer of this app is called, Inside Internet. And it goes on to say, while the playtest is on, the Asobi Remote Play app will have all the features unlocked. So if you have a Steam Deck and you want to get involved in this, get involved now, and you can test it all out, as some of it looks like it's going to be behind a paywall later on, obviously. So those who sign up will be able to test all of its capabilities, but many of the more advanced functions may be behind a paywall in the future. That includes 1080p 60 FPS gameplay, which will be part of a single in-app payment once fully released. That's quite good that it's not like a monthly subscription to do that. You just pay it in the one-hour. But remember, you still need your monthly PlayStation Plus premium subscription to access this, so it's swings and roundabouts. There will also be a lower latency mode and full controller support. The core experience will give you 1080p 30 gameplay and cloud streaming compatibility. So I assume the core experience is the free experience. You can sign up for the playtest period on the dedicated Stream Asobi page right now. It works on Steam OS, and you can also use it on the Steam Machine, Lenovo Legion Go S, and pretty much any device running Valve's software. It's also available for Linux generally, while the developer is working on a Windows version to release too. That'd be cool, so you can play on your desktop PC. Hopefully Sony won't try and shut this down before it gets truly going. After all, it encourages you to keep your PS Plus premium membership, so everybody wins. Now, I think, you know, cloud streaming is a great nice to have, and particularly for the Portal, because the Portal really if you don't have a PS5 for remote play, it does actually nothing. And this is the actual Steam page, and it shows you a little bit of it in action here. And you can pick your remote play, PS5 Pro, and then it's got PS5 Digital, so it's got your two devices here in the background connecting, and boom, there you go, showing us a remote play. I'm not sure if it shows us the streaming of cloud games here, which would be cool to see. Doing something here, frame gen on, frame gen off. Oh, upscale, that's cool. But this is interesting to see that this is now rolling out to Steam Deck, which is one of the devices in particular before it got its huge price increase. I would see in my comments all the time when I would talk about the Portal, because I think the Portal was it's a fun, cheap entry point into the PlayStation ecosystem, and it was a nice to have because I loved using it for remote play for my games, bang the physical disc in my PS5 or PS5 Pro, and then I could stream it, playing it, chilling out on the couch, while the TV's in use with the family. It's awesome. And everyone would say, get a Steam Deck. I have never had a Steam Deck. I've never owned a Steam Deck. I like the thought of it. I just think it looks like this big hulking, kind of uncomfortable device. I might be wrong. Once I use it, I would be able to pass a better judgment. But then, now the fact that it's taken away one of the Portal's unique selling points, let's be real, it really was. The Portal was the only place you could do that previously. Now it can do that, and it can do everything else it can do. And everyone's a bit pissed off with what Sony's doing with killing off physical games and stuff like that. Does it make the Steam Deck even more appealing? These updates and things like this are cool to see. Will Sony allow this to continue? Will they try and kibosh this and shut it down? Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this cool, and do you think Sony will let it continue? The Steam train keeps on rolling, but there's more news on the Portal, with people reporting games which they've purchased are now not accessible to them to play via cloud game streaming on their Portal. Has this happened to you? Let's check it out. There's this article over on PlayStation Lifestyle, and it's claiming games are mysteriously disappearing from the PlayStation Portal cloud library. Over the weekend, dozens of PS5 games were randomly pulled from the PlayStation Portal Direct cloud streaming catalogue. While Sony's terms of service allow it to add and remove games from the PlayStation Portal's library without notice, mass removal of games, including Sony's own first-party titles, is unlikely to be deliberate. System glitch likely behind PS5 games disappearing from PlayStation Portal Direct cloud streaming catalogue. Over the last day or two, I spotted dozens of Reddit threads from concerned players who had purchased a PlayStation Portal without a PlayStation 5, as handheld can now stream purchased games without a console. First-party game Ghost of Yotai is amongst the titles that have been unavailable to stream for the past 3 days, even though its PlayStation Store page states it's available to stream on both PS5 and PlayStation Portal. Other games that have suddenly disappeared from the catalogue include Madden NFL 27, Cities Skyline, Octopath Traveler 0, Ready or Not, The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, and more. Some folks have contacted Sony support only to be told that the aforementioned games are no longer part of the PlayStation Portal streaming catalogue. However, I doubt this information is correct and believe there's a glitch on Sony's end that has impacted specific games. Now, I went onto Reddit and had a look, and there was a whole bunch of people saying these things, and a lot of people just roasting the Sony support, saying they're struggling to actually get in touch with a real person. It's all automated bots they're talking to. And the one that's worth focusing in on here, this is not games from the cloud game streaming PS Plus catalogue, which we all know do change regularly. That's part of the subscription. New games come each month, and then new games go each month. This is for games which you have purchased. So one of the benefits of that update 7.0, I think it was the cloud game streaming, but also you could buy games without owning a PS5. You'd buy them digitally and be able to stream them from the cloud to your Portal. So this was basically the cheapest way to get involved with PlayStation and play their exclusives. Ghost of Yotai is one of those games. It's not in the PlayStation Plus cloud streaming catalogue. It was a game you had to purchase, and then you could stream it from the cloud to your portal. And it's been removed for some reason. Whether it's a glitch or not, it's just not good. And another warning, I keep saying this about this all digital future, it's going to suck. So people need to wake up and smell the coffee. These things I still think are nice to haves, but they should not be the core, the only thing. Always try and buy a PlayStation 5, buy your physical hardware, buy your physical games, people, because if this is what we have to rely on in the future, it's not very good, especially if this is going to be what we're going to have to rely on with a PlayStation 6 home console, PlayStation 6 handheld. It's just a bit of a nightmare, and you can imagine how pissed off people will be. Think about it, you've spent full dollar on the PlayStation Store because all the digital games are way more expensive than buying them physically. You spend $70, $80 or £70 or whatever buying Ghost of Yotai. You're so hyped to play it. You start playing it and then the next day it's like, you can't play this anymore. It's not part of your library or whatever. Come on, that is just not a good customer experience. And gaming is meant to be all about fun, chilling out, escapism, relaxing from the real world, not adding to it, you know? So I thought this was really interesting. And the reason I wanted to bring it up was obviously for awareness, but to ask the question, have any of you, because I know a lot of you on this channel play your PlayStation Portal, have any of you noticed this, where games you have purchased to stream digitally have been removed from your PlayStation Portal? Let me know in the comments. And if you're wondering why all this is not a good future and why it's what the gaming industry is probably trying to force us into, check out the video on screen over there right now, and we'll see you on the next video.